Natural disasters. Natural disasters, like earthquakes, hurricanes, wildfires, mudslides, and tornadoes, affect millions of people every year. The people most at risk for developing lasting problems following a natural disaster are those who have experienced significant losses such as the death of a loved one, a serious injury, destruction of their home, and being separated from their family, friends, and community. Military trauma. Military personnel are knowingly put in harm's way. Whether they have volunteered or were drafted, they are at high risk for being exposed to traumatic events. These events can include the same types of events as civilians experience, such as those previously described, but also includes combat trauma. Sometimes this can occur on home soil in training accidents or in attacks, such as terrorist attacks. Military personnel sent to combat zones may encounter an enemy trying to kill them with bullets, bombs, improvised explosive devices, poisonous gas, cutting off supplies to starve them out, or many other deadly means. First responders or high-exposure professions. Like military service members, first responders, emergency workers, firefighters, and police go toward danger and are exposed to potentially traumatic events at higher rates than the general public. While most of these professionals do not develop lasting emotional problems, a significant minority are haunted by the things they've seen. What are emotional stressors that aren't usually considered to be traumatic, and why is this so? Getting a divorce or having a loved one die can be extremely difficult experiences, but these losses are usually not considered to be traumatic. The same is true for getting really sick, going through a difficult financial period, or losing your job or housing. The distinction between these types of stressful events and trauma is that these events do not pose an immediate threat to your physical integrity or to your life. That's not to say that these are not extremely upsetting and disruptive changes to your life that result in fundamental changes to how you see yourself in the world, but the usual results and any treatment after these events are different from what we expect following trauma. Who experiences trauma? We constantly hear about people affected by trauma: soldiers returning from distant wars, survivors of domestic abuse, rape, or other assault, people who have lost their homes to fire or flood, witnesses to crime or shootings, survivors of car crashes, victims of terror and mass shootings such as in Las Vegas, in the American Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston, South Carolina, and in the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, and refugees from violent homelands. All of these folks and many others may experience trauma. Your family members, friends, co-workers, teachers, grocery store clerks, healthcare professionals, car mechanics, or you yourself may be affected by trauma and may experience the aftermath. Trauma is pervasive, but the strength and resilience of the human spirit is awe-inspiring. Despite high rates of trauma, most trauma survivors recover, and many even thrive after these negative experiences. Newspaper headlines often link war veterans with trauma, and trauma is certainly a problem in that group, but scientific studies estimate that as many as 70% of us will experience a traumatic event in our lifetimes, a huge percentage of people, including both children and adults. What is post-traumatic stress disorder? One negative reaction to trauma is post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, which is a severe, often chronic, and disabling disorder. PTSD develops in some people following their exposure to a traumatic event involving an actual or threatened injury to themselves or to others. A person with PTSD may have intrusive thoughts, nightmares, and flashbacks of past traumatic events. They may avoid reminders of the trauma, become hypervigilant, and develop sleep disturbances. In addition, changes in thoughts and mood and quickly becoming aroused or angry are symptoms of PTSD and may lead to many social, occupational, and interpersonal problems. To be diagnosed with PTSD, a person will have symptoms that have lasted for at least 1 month. Someone with chronic PTSD is diagnosed when the symptoms have been present for at least 3 months, and once PTSD has become chronic, it is unlikely to